It may have taken quite a while, but the moment that all of you Conti car lovers have been waiting for is finally here. The Mk8 Volkswagen Golf is now in Singapore! When it comes to automotive evolution, people always immediately think of the Porsche 911, but actually, the Volkswagen Golf is very much the same. Compare two non-successive models together and they look like completely different cars, but follow the changes from one generation to the next, and you can clearly see the lineage flowing down the line. So what's new with the Mk8 Golf? Well, for starters, the styling has obviously been updated. The headlights are now lower, giving the car a more scowling kind of look, and R-line models and up have this neat LED bar stretching across the grille. Remember Bert from Sesame Street? You know, that yellow guy with the unibrow? That's what this looks like, doesn't it? LED lights are standard both at the front as well as at the rear. In Life Plus models and above, the rear lights also get those dynamic turn indicators. But no matter which angle you look at it from, the Mk8 is still clearly recognizably a Golf, and nowhere is that more apparent from this rear quarter angle, where you can see this quite characteristic Golf thick C-pillar with a Hofmeister kink-ish kind of bend around the rear window and the parallel shed lines for the door and the rear bumper. The interior though is where all the big changes have happened. You've still got, well, you've got a digital instrument display and you've got your touchscreen infotainment system. Those not really too surprising. What is massively different is that there are hardly any buttons, physical buttons we found in here. I count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Physical buttons, or 5 for the hazard lights. Everything else is a touch-sensitive pad like you found on the phone. So that would include the aircon controls up here, the audio or the volume controls, all your light switches, and even the steering wheel buttons on this R-Line model and the GTI as well are touch-sensitive, buttons. Even the gear lever is no longer really a physical thing. It's no longer actually connected to the gearbox. Now it's this shift-by-wire system with this tiny little nub of a gear selector that you rock back and forth to select your gears. Now with all the buttons having disappeared, all of the in-car functions that you would have played with are now concentrated inside the touchscreen. That includes your, obviously navigation, infotainment, audio, all that sort of thing, but also a lot of vehicle controls. So for example, your start-stop system is now accessed from here. Your driving modes is also accessed through the touchscreen, no longer driving mode selected button on the center console. If there's one cool feature in here worth mentioning, it's the ambient lighting. Now, all Golfs have this as standard, although the base model has only 10 colors to choose from, whereas on the Life Plus and the R-Line and the GTI, you've got a whole 30 colors to choose from. So you've got a few preset moods with quite pretentious sounding names: Infinity, Eternity, Desire, Euphoria, etc. Or you can customize on the one of the 30 colors on that rainbow bar. And one last thing, the center console has got a really big cup holder, which might be at first sight a bit too big for most water bottles, but you press this little button here and a section of it folds out, keeping your little drinks bottle tightly in place. At the back, space is very similar to the old Golf, which is to say, more than sufficient for the vast majority of people. I'm 1.8 meters tall and my driver's seat is set to my sitting position, and I've still got plenty of space for my knees and for my head and for my feet underneath. It's really quite spacious and more than enough for most people. And finally, boot space is 380 litres, same as the outgoing car. In Singapore for now, there's only one engine choice available, and that is Volkswagen's 150 horsepower, 1.5 litre TSI Evo engine with mild hybrid technology. You may have noticed that horsepower figure puts it in the Cat B COE category. Now overseas, there is also a 3-cylinder 1 litre 110 horsepower engine available, also with mild hybrid technology, but that's not a given for Singapore yet. But our take on it is that given the Golf's importance in the Cat A family car market, you might see that come to our shores further down the road. Pricing for the Mk8 Golf starts from about $125,000. But because we're filming this on a Tuesday, the day before the next round of COE bidding, we can't quite give you the final price by the time you guys have watched this video. But don't worry, we will update the final pricing in the description below. Right, so first impressions of the Golf Mk8. Obviously the weather is really bad. Not ideal, but we'll make do. So, what can I say? First things about it is seating position. Yeah, easy to get comfortable. It's a lot of adjustability in the seat and the steering wheel. Easy to find a good position. The seats are quite supportive. These R-line seats are have a kind of sporty bucket seat design. It's kind of similar to the GTIs but with different materials. Hug you quite well, nice bolstering, although for a skinny person like me, so I can still move around a bit, but that means that if you're a bit more horizontally challenged, probably find it a bit more comfortable then. Right, so one of the things that the Golf has come under flag for overseas is the all-digital dashboard. Let's give it a try, shall we, and see for ourselves how easy or difficult it is to use. Let's say navigation. Oh dear, that's not confusing at all, is it? Right, search. Right, where's the search? Okay, there we go. Okay, we'll mute you. Right, so one of the things about VW's navigation systems, infotainment systems, is that it used to be really, really clear, really crisp, one of the most intuitive to use in the industry. Now, there's just so many layers of menus to get to, even just to enter a destination, just to turn off the voice route guidance. If I want to go back, I don't want a home button, there's no back button. Oh, that's quite, yeah, it's not very intuitive. I must say, the graphics look brilliant. These are like video game level kind of graphics. If you go up to vehicle, picture of the car, and that is so crisp and such high definition. But man, just like getting to anything that you want to get to, there's so many layers. It's just, alright, it's fine if you're stationary, but if you want to change anything while on the move, volume, where's volume? It's all the volume is down on this touch slider down here, so you can slide the volume up and down, or you can just tap it. So that's all right, I guess. I thought not having the physical volume knob would be a bit of an annoyance, but this is all right. At least you can. It's a large enough area, surface area for the press the button, and you still register the command that you are getting at. So one of the things that surprised me about this drivetrain, this mild hybrid system, is its smoothness, right? Let me backtrack a bit here and let me explain a bit. In a regular car, especially in automatics with a torque converter, when you are at idle, when the car is stationary, you should always have to maintain your brake pedal pressure to keep the car stationary. Otherwise, your torque converter is still spinning, it's still going to push the car forward at a crawling pace. And that's an issue when it comes to the mild hybrid system in other cars, because those systems will cut out the engine when you come to a standstill. And what that happens is, because you're maintaining a constant brake pressure as you're slowing down, suddenly when the engine cuts out, there's no more propulsion against the transmission. So what happens is that with the same amount of braking force, suddenly your car will jerk to a halt right just before it comes to just as it comes to a standstill. And this hasn't appeared in the Golf at all. I suspect it could be because it's a dual clutch gearbox, so the clutch will disengage just before the engine cuts out anyway, as part of its normal operation. But whether it's because of that or for other reasons, when you come to a stop like this, for example, it's very easy and very natural to just maintain a progressive, steady brake pressure all the way to a standstill, and that makes the drive and the ride for passengers a lot more comfortable and a lot less jerky. So yeah, well done VW. Right, so what about ride and handling? Well, the Golf is, again, it's a Golf. You know exactly what you're getting at. It's perfectly comfortable, it's refined, it's relaxing to drive. It doesn't ride harshly at all. I can drive over potholes or cat's eyes on the road, and it isolates the outside world very, very effectively. It's a brilliant car to be doing lots of highway miles in, I'm sure, as with all Golfs previously. Of course, it's not just the Mk8 Golf that's new in town. The GTI is here too. Obviously, you've got more aggressive styling. The grille is the same shape as the R-Line, but there's a honeycomb pattern to it, and you've got integrated fog lights at the sides. Around the back, you've got a subtle little boot spoiler, and praise the heavens, genuine twin tailpipes. None of that fake small exhaust hiding behind plastic trim garnishing that a lot of other car makers like to do. So, good job for authenticity, VW. On the inside, they seem to have done more than previous gens to make the GTI stand out from its lesser brethren. There's a lot of red in here, for example the stitching, the piping on these thickly bolstered sport seats, the steering wheel trim with a little GTI badge, and most obviously, the screens, especially the instrument cluster with its special GTI design and performance dials. Under the bonnet, as always, is a 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder, still the EA888 with similar power increments to all the generations before. So where the Mark 5 had 200 horsepower, the Mark 6 had 210, the Mark 7 had 220 and the Mark 7.5 230, this has got 245 HP and 370 Nm of torque, which is the same as the performance pack variant of the 7.5. That gives it a 0 to 100 timing of 6.3 seconds and a limited top speed of 250 km an hour. We hope you've enjoyed this first look at the new Volkswagen Golf. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time today to bring you a drive of the Mk8 GTI, but don't worry, we'll be doing a full review of that soon. So, hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified of when that happens. Give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!